Hi folks, Happy New Year. It's currently the 3rd of January I think, and we're just back after the festive period, and it's been a good festive period, I'm glad to say. I've done quite a lot of little bits and round about the room in the gap since the last video, but the main thing is that thanks to Granite Devices, who make the SimuCube 2 wheelbase, so thanks to them, and thanks to Digital Motorsports in Ireland, who I bought the wheelbase from. After a bit of to and fro, they've agreed to supply me with a brand new replacement wheelbase, which just arrived. Well, it arrived while we were away on holiday over the Christmas break, but we're back today, and I got it round, got it plugged in, and it works! Yay! So yeah, I just quickly plugged things in to make sure it worked, which it does, which is good. So I'm going to plumb that in just now, and then yeah, we'll actually be able to drive something hopefully. Over Christmas as well, some more bits and bobs arrived, thanks to my wonderful wife. I got 3 button boxes that I was after to complete the look of the rig, so I'll go through them and show you those as well, and how I've mounted them. I've added a little bit of framework to the chassis to try and create the cockpit effect a bit more. You'll also notice there's my pictures back on the wall over there, make it feel a bit more like home, and you'll see some silverware behind me. I'll take you through that as well. We got that while we were up in Banff over the holidays, and took down some of the most important trophies that we've won through our racing career, to have them on display in here. And yeah, also, what else have we done? I've got new lights, which you can't see, but they make it a little bit brighter and more user friendly to work in here, but it'll also give me some different ambience while we're racing, so I'll try and demonstrate that at some point. Added a couple of little hooks and things. Oh, the bezel free kits, in fact I'll show you those on the rig. So here's the monitors. As you can see, these little plastic things either side are the Asus, how do you pronounce it, ROG bezel free kit. Now effectively it's just a bit of plastic that runs up and down the joint between the monitors. I have stuck these on because they are for officially 27-inch screens and above. Obviously mine are 32, but the size of them, they do cover 32-inch screens, so I've got some like clear adhesive tape, which doesn't look the prettiest thing in the world, as you can see, when it is when the monitors are off. But when that, especially the top, I think got a bit tatty up there. But when they are on, the effect that these things create is amazing. I've heard mixed kind of reviews. Some people saying they look great. Some people saying they, it kind of distorted the view a little bit and things. But yeah, I have to say the trials that I've done, it really makes it amazing. The big thing actually, which helped, was the fact that iRacing. Let's spin that around so I can see myself. iRacing have added, I don't know when they added this, whether it was in the last update or the one before, but they added the option to bezel correct negatively, which probably means nothing to many of you out there, but it was something that Assetto Corsa had, but iRacing didn't. And long story short, with the bezel free kits, you need to adjust it negatively to get a smooth, clear, consistent picture, and you couldn't do that in iRacing up until, as far as I'm aware, the last update where they've added this feature, and it just looks beautiful. You can if you stop on a board with like a 0 or writing on it, you can see the writing smoothly going through the monitors. It's pretty magic actually. It just makes it look like one big massive wraparound screen. So yeah, really chuffed with that. You'll also see I've got some webcams preliminarily placed, is that how you pronounce it? One there for shooting me. I've got one under the well as well, looking at my feet. You'll see the wheelbase is in. I've got the emergency stop mounted as well. And yeah, so I think in the last video I didn't have the column extension on, but the column extension's in there. And that's a quick release male part there as well. So that's all ready to go. Yeah. Oh, so the little bit of frame I was talking about. I don't know if you can see that in the light, but there's a bar here, which is didn't come with the chassis itself. The chassis itself come with the steering column mount, which is back there. But because it's sitting so far back, obviously I need some button boxes and things here to be like a real car. So I built this frame here. It's just a simple up along the top, and then down that side. You can just about see it there. And yeah, I've mounted the safety button there, and I've got some button boxes, one to go in there at this side and then a couple for that side, which I'll show you in a sec as well. Also added a little bit of framework here. I think I mentioned earlier the keyboard, I wasn't happy with how that was sitting, so yeah, it's just a little L-shaped piece here. In fact, I'll come around this side so you can see it. Kind of mirrors what the frame on the other side is like, with the gear shifter's going to go, comes down here and bolts to the side of the frame forward, and the wee upstand at the front just allows me to have the keyboard out of the way when I don't need it, and then you can obviously swing it in when you do need it, so that's kind of handy as well. So yeah, good. So I'll take you a little tour of the room and the decor that we've currently got up. So as I said, if I zoom back a little bit, we have the picture that was, you'll remember it was on that wall previously. It's now up there. Nice shot from the David Leslie race of 2019, which we won. I have all my Michael Schumacher caps, because I'm planning on lining up probably towards the roof there, just a nice line of caps along there maybe, or maybe in the corner. I also have some 1 to 18 scale Schumacher Ferraris as well, which I'm going to decorate the room with. Across here we have the 4 Grampian Kart Club Championship trophies that we won. So we've got first championship we ever won in 2001. They're all senior Rotax or FR125 Rotax, depending on what year you look at, but yeah, senior Rotax champion 2001, 2004, 2005 and 2006. So yeah, the kind of biggest achievements in karting was winning that championship 4 times up at Pointy, which was quite cool. And we'll swing around. I have a cuddle. Up here we have helmet on display, obviously. That's my real world race helmet from the Formula Ford car racing days. So it's on display up there, nice and shiny. And then yeah, in the corner here, the big trophy at the back is the NKRA National Championship of 2004, which we won down at Clay Pigeon. Yeah, Clay Pigeon Raceway. And again, Rotax Max. So that's the biggest trophy I own, but it's also probably, from a geographical standpoint, the biggest championship as well, because it was effectively a British championship. Anyway, that was quite cool. And then also up here we have, weirdly enough, the smallest trophy is the 2019 Scottish Formula Ford Championship. So I don't know why it's come on camera. I just want to focus on that shiny plate. There we go. Yeah, it's the smallest one, but it's probably, you know, the biggest championship. For me anyway, being a single-seater champion of Scotland is pretty cool. We don't have our 2021 one yet, obviously, because the winner dance hasn't taken place. But the other two, the one at the back is the 2013 David Leslie Trophy race win, which again was pretty cool for us, winning that for the first time. And then the one in the middle here is the trophy from the 2019 David Leslie Trophy race win, which is the photo on the wall behind us. Again, as this is being recorded, we're the only people to have our names on that trophy twice. So yeah, pretty cool. So the 2021 Scottish Championship will go up there as well to complete the set. And that is how the room's looking at the moment. So, button boxes. Number 1, this is sitting at the right hand side, just underneath, and squeeze in, sitting underneath the safety stop there. It's 2 rotary encoders, and the reason I added this because 1, they had space, and 2, because some of the historic cars I'll be driving have anti-roll bar adjustable anti-roll bar front and rear, so you can use these for one for the rear, one for the front. Obviously in GT cars and things you could use it for other functions as well, and I'm sure I'll find a use for it. But yeah, so that is the button box 1 sitting at that side. Button box number 2 sitting at the same height, probably quite low down, at this side of the left hand side. So this will be for my brake bias adjustment in older cars, which don't have an adjuster on the steering wheel, a bit like the Formula Ford obviously that used to race, and that's down your left hand, that's where the brake bias adjuster is. So negative that way, plus that way. Rear, I'm typically, although the plus and minus is that way, I would plus being front, I'm kind of used to in the real car being rear is right, so that's probably how I'll set it up. Turn it clockwise and it goes rearwards, so turn it right, turn it clockwise and the balance goes rearwards. Got some buttons here as well, because some of the older historic cars I won't have much buttons on the steering wheel, so these will allow me to encode some functions in there that we might need for menus and things in the car. But that's that one. And the final button box, it goes up here, and it's the good old, something that looks cool I think, the starter and ignition switch. So little guard on there, flick up, flick the ignition on, and then hold to start. Fantastic, just like a real car. You can obviously flick it off like that. I did have to file a little bit of the, just about to see the plastic that I've cut and filed away there, because when this was up, I was too close to wanting to swing back down again, and I don't want the ignition to switch off during a race. That would be embarrassing. So yeah, it's nice and sturdy there up just now, and you can flick on the ignition and hit the start button. It's quite satisfying. I've tried it in a couple of games at the moment. Obviously not been able to drive because I didn't have the rest of the things set up, but yeah, being able to just have that on, hear the ignition switch on, and hold the starter button until you get that vroom from the engine is pretty satisfying. So yeah, looking forward to getting those mounted at some point in the near future. But for now, I'm just going to crack on and finish wiring up the wheelbase with the power off and then all the other various ancillary wires that go with it, and then hopefully be able to jump in and drive something tonight. Here we are then, everything mounted. Looks pretty good to me. Take it on a little tour, as you've seen it before obviously, but here's the starter button and ignition. We have buttons here, which I'll probably use for navigating menus and things, potentially, maybe some car functions. This is the brake bias adjusting knob for single seaters, similar place to where it is in the Formula Ford, obviously, or where it was in the Formula Ford. This side we have obviously the safety kill for the SimiCube, and then we've got these two rotaries below, which again I'll probably use the top one for the front roll bar, the bottom one for the rear roll bar. In cars that don't have that, you can use them for other things as well. So yeah, that's the kind of plan. Bit of a hybrid rig at the moment, because we have all my button boxes and the seating position laid out as a single seater would be, but of course due to the availability of the wheel I'm after, this is the GT wheel that's on it. So yeah, a bit of a hybrid rig. We've got everything kind of set up for single seaters, but we're driving GT cars, so yeah, pretty cool. Unfortunately, I can't really film me driving anything at the moment because I don't have a good enough camera to really pick it up. But I have had a go, and it is very good. So I thought I'd finish this video from the actual cockpit itself. Yeah, it's a nice place to be this. I'm really happy with how it's coming together. As far as bits and pieces on the rig go, there's a few little things. I suppose the big thing is the gear shifter. We're planning to have a manual shifter in here for racing the kind of historic cars and things. But all the big bits are really in, and obviously the steering wheel as well. As I say, this is a GT wheel, and really would like to get the Formula wheel in as well, plus some classic wheels for some of the older fashion stuff. But yeah, other little bits and pieces I'd like to touch up the cockpit area, make it look a bit nicer and things. And obviously get some kind of setup in so that I can record the races off board, if you like, rather than just capturing the screen as I'm doing at the moment. Because the steering wheel's here, I don't have the steering wheel on the screen itself. So it'd be nice to capture the kind of races from over my shoulder, if you like, so you can see me actually working at the steering wheel. It looks a bit more immersive for you guys than just watching the screen with no steering wheel moving. So yeah, one last thing to show you while I'm here. I mentioned the lights we got installed, so it allows me to switch between moods depending when I'm racing. So everything's on at the moment. If we hit a day race, it shrouds everything else in darkness round about and just keeps the kind of bright daytime light on me, which is good. We have a sunset or sunrise race. Hopefully you can see that, everything goes a bit red. We have a rain race if it's a bit dull and grey. And then obviously for GTs, the night time when everything gets a bit dark. So yeah, I'll put them all back on. That's it, and hope you've enjoyed these series of videos. Remember and give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you haven't already. And I don't know what the next video will be. Probably, well, in this series it will be probably the shifter when that eventually comes in. But yeah, we might do some racing at some point as well and do some streaming, which would be good fun. Yeah, if you've enjoyed it, again, stay tuned for more. Thanks folks, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.